Good morning and welcome to Neil Burrows, who's the Director of Skills and Innovation from Burnley College. Hi, Neil.
Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your role, Neil, and what your organisation does?
Yeah, of course I can. So I'm Director of Skills and Innovation at Burnley College. I've been in this role probably about 12 months now. Prior to that, so I've been at the college 8 years. I started off as head of engineering at the college. Did 3 years there in that division. So our college has divisions in engineering, in construction, in digital, A levels. So we class them as divisions, some class them as schools. So the engineering division, when I started, we got involved with employers, got involved with engaging with businesses and what curriculum wanted to look like. And I spent 3 years doing that and grew it really successfully. Not me, but my team. I had a great team underneath me, ex-engineers, all that kind of stuff. Really passionate about putting education to young people and all that in engineering. 3 years after I started, I got promoted to assistant principal, looking after apprenticeships, because I think my work with the engagement side of all the employees in engineering or apprenticeship provision grew from, I think we had something like 100 apprentices on programs over 4 years. It's now 400 and odd. So you can see the growth there. It's massive. So that basically got me a bit of a promotion upstairs at the college to assistant principal, looking after apprenticeships across all areas. I did that for 3 years, all through COVID as well at the time, which was a challenge, as you can imagine. And coming out of COVID, I think my personal perspective of it was through COVID, we spoke with businesses all the time. We kept in touch with them, we collaborated with them, we found out how they were going to recover from COVID, what their intentions were. And I think my role basically moved away from looking after the apprenticeships across college to looking at the skills and innovation going forward when everyone was coming out of COVID. Don't really want to keep talking about COVID, but it was a massive thing for us as a college. Our apprenticeship provision got nearly ripped in half, thinking, would it ever recover? Yes. I think the work we did with businesses through that time. So my role as Director of Skills and Innovation now is to engage with businesses, look at what the future holds for engineering, for construction, and every other division we have, and try and embed them skills into our curriculum. So we have a talent pipeline of young people coming out of this college with the right skills.
So what sort of role does Burnley College play in bringing that sort of skill set to those people? Is it through just apprenticeships only, or is there other sort of modules as well?
No. So we have different streams of education. So we have our 16 to 18. So anybody that leaves school can come and do a 2-year vocational course in engineering. We have the apprenticeship provision, like I said, which is very strong. We have our higher education, so level 4, level 5, and level 6. Again, it's full time, and it's also apprenticeships in HNCs, HNDs, and degrees. And we have our adults as well. So our adults, so people that maybe want to upskill themselves, they might be semi-skilled in a sector, want to be upskilled, they'll come in, they'll do an evening class, whether it's in engineering, welding, manufacturing, whatever. And then they'll get those skills needed to go and get themselves a better job. And then the other side of that is that upskilling with our businesses. So any business that's got people already, might be an engineer, might be looking at diversifying into a new sector or whatever, a new area. They'll send their staff in to upskill. And again, sharp skills modules that we've developed over time is massive for that as well. Because employees don't want to do a full year. They don't want to send anybody. They want to do that sharp skills program.
It's quite an investment for them, isn't it? I guess
100%. Yeah.
Per year. And what sort of companies showing interest in automation and cobots particularly? Is there particular sectors that are interested in this as a skill?
Yeah. So like I said, Burnley is well, I'm a Blackburn lad, but I'm a Blackburn lad, but I work in Burnley. The engineering sector in Burnley is just amazing. We have a big bondholders group, and it's just a real good feel. So our sector in engineering, a lot of aerospace sectors, so supply chain, so your BAEs and all that kind of stuff. So the aerospace sector, automotive sector, manufacturing, and they're all changing. When I said they're all changing to that automation side, that is the feel that I'm getting. Some of our bigger companies are working with us now on that digitalisation in manufacturing because they don't have the right people with the right skills in digital in the businesses. So I think And again, when I started at the college, when I started in this role, our divisions were very working in silo. So we have a digital division, and not every young person comes into this college wanting to be an engineer. They want to do digital skills. Yeah. So I've brought the digital division and the engineering division together over the last 12, 18 months, because prior to that, it was like, well, these are our students, these are our students. Let's change our digital provision offer, and let's change our engineering offer to combine it to that digitalization side of it all, to support the engineering sector, you know. And that over the last 18 months, it's worse. I'm well proud that we're actually doing that now. So we've got one or two big engineering companies that are working with us on that digitalization bit, and it's more the digital skills rather than engineering skills.
Yes. So are you seeing renewed interest in engineering as a career then, because of that sort of technology, the new technology that's being used?
100%. We do the norm, what every college will do, open events, all that kind of stuff. But the infrastructure and the facilities that and the investment that we've done over the last couple of years through the Institute of Technologies from the Department for Education, funds that's allowed us to invest in kit, and through our own investment, we've got some amazing facilities down there. So when we're opening the doors to schools at years 10 and 11, and they're seeing robots loading machines up and all that, they're amazed. You know, these kids are like, wow, you know. But then the other side of that, we're opening the doors to our businesses who are coming to see their apprentices that are working in the college, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, we're trying to get into this. How can you help us by?" And we don't. I'm always want to say that we can't offer the world, because can't offer them everything, because we don't know everything. We need the skill sets, and we'll probably talk about this in a few minutes. But that is another issue of us getting the right skill sets in the college to deliver those skills. But what we can do is say, right, well, bring your guys down. You can use the kit. You can use the facility. I'm trying to have it so our businesses know that if they're looking at a prototype, if they're looking at getting into something new, they can come down. And if we've got that kit, come and use it and get a feel for it and think, is this for us? And then they can start going off and doing what they need to do.
And that's de-risking it, isn't it? I suppose for them as well.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
they can have some hands-on before they actually go down that route to buying something, I suppose.
Yeah, we work closely with AMRC Northwest and all them kind of people. So they're doing all the innovation and the research, and I'm pointing our businesses to Made Smarter and things like that, because we can't do that at this stage. But you know, our bread and butter is our students. So, but if I can keep on the coattails of our businesses and what they're looking at doing for investments and going forward in the future, then I can provide the skills at all. So I said, like a 16 to 18-year-old and higher education learner and adults with those skills, that then they bring the research back from the MRCs. Yeah, they can then bring people into the business with the knowledge and understanding of the same skills.
Yes,
and then they're on the right track then to go forward, aren't they?
So what sort of typical services can you offer for companies if they would? Is it just a couple of days that they can come to your facility and trial something out, or is it you actually go on site? Or
so we've bought two new 5-axis CNC machines. One's fully automated. One of our businesses is coming down because they're looking at buying one. I said, you can have it for 4 weeks. How about come and play? I said, on one condition, that you bring some students out of the class and put them with you while you're doing it, so they can actually have that real life experience of working with an employer as well. You know, so yeah, they can have it. We've got a metal printer, a Meltio metal printer, and one business is looking at getting into metal printing. So they've come down and done some designs on our metal printer to see if it works for them. You know, and it's that kind of thing. So the investment we've done, the automation kit, you know, we've got the universal robots in there now, you know, and like I said before, students are like really excited, and businesses are thinking, I want to get into that. And, you know, it's just that collaboration, isn't it?
Yes.
We're not going to, Burnley College are not going to change the world for manufacturing and automation in Burnley, but we're there to support them, and they can come to us because, you know, and I'll never blow my own trumpet, but we work really hard as a college. I'm talking to stakeholders all the time. I'm going to these places and I'm listening.
Yes.
And then I'm bringing it back and I'm getting the engineering team together and saying, right, this is what they're saying at the LEP or whoever, and this is what they're saying at LSIP, you know, so local skills improvement plans and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm trying to set it to the division. Now, how do we embed that into all our curriculum so that these young people at whatever level they're coming out at, and that might be a level 1, a level 2, you know, because we get Burnley's quite a deprived area.
Yeah.
But these kids come in and see these robots. They might have had a real bad experience at school, but then all of a sudden, you know, they get excited. And then all of a sudden they've had a bad experience at school. And sometimes it's no fault of their own. You know, it's just the way the world and all that kind of stuff. They get excited, and before you know it, they're in there and they can do it. And they're programming and they're doing this, and them are the young people that we need to be putting into industry and say, you know,
it's that, isn't it? It's that passion, isn't it, for understanding and learning. That I think if you can engage people with that, and they then take that into industry, then that makes a big difference to the end users that they're giving. And typically what we see is smaller companies have got more to gain from using this kind of technology. And I was wondering if you see the same thing. Do you have smaller companies that engage with the college that are interested in using automation, whereas before it might have been just too complicated for them, but now that they're willing to have a look at it, to engage with it?
Yeah, 100%. We work with, and when I say big businesses in Burnley, you know, we have a couple of real strong, high-class big businesses in Burnley as the bigger employers that employ quite a lot of people in Burnley, and you know, through that airspace of that manufacturing side. But you know, the supply chains to those and the SMEs that are in Burnley, some amazing companies. You know, we went around one, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, just having a look around, and they're full CNC machine shop, and they've got a universal robot on there, and they're trying to work it and program it so it can work the machine, but they're just playing with it. And I just went, we've got one of them. Have you? Yeah, and it's like that conversation starts. So that SME is like really doing a lot of innovation.
Yes.
You know, but I probably, if I hadn't had a tour around, I wouldn't have known. So all of a sudden they're coming in and having a look, saying, "Oh, brilliant! Can we send some of our guys down to have a look at it?" And you know, can we then? And then they say to me, "Well, who you're working with on this? What students, several T levels or whatever? You know, you can have somebody 1 day a week. You know, a T-level placement that's been in this environment for the last 6 months. Okay, it's not work ready, but it's getting an understanding for it. Get some work placement. And if you're on a project doing that, and you've got him 1 day a week for 6 months, he's your next apprentice or he's your next worker. You know, and it's
you're making that connection then, aren't you? That's the thing,
of course you are.
User.
Yeah.
And that's really important. I think your role in that is almost like creating a pathway, isn't it? Like you're saying, you engage with the schools, you train the people with the skills, and then you're engaging with the end users as well. You've created a pathway for somebody to follow right into industry with the skills that they need, I guess. So
I've recruited I've got 2, I call them industry engagement specialists. It's quite a title. I used to have a business development manager work for me, and he'd be out, and when he were not knocking on doors, but again, he was really good. He was really strong. He created that relationship with the employees. But that business development manager was seen as a salesperson, selling apprenticeships, selling this, selling that. We're not here to finance directors go mad, but we're not here to sell stuff. We're here to support and to provide a service. You know, we need the income, obviously, and we get the income through all those funding streams that I said, which is great. And we have to have that growth. And if we collaborate with our businesses, our SMEs, we will grow because they'll keep coming to us for all those different avenues into their business. Came out of COVID, you know, and I have a real strong apprenticeship head on, and I've had it for years and years because I've been in education quite a long time. And I've gone away from like I said, selling an apprenticeship to an employer, or an apprenticeship is not always the way. You know, we've got, like I said, lots of different education streams at the college, and a work placement or a graduate is just as good as an apprentice in some aspects. You know, and I think colleges need to look at it that way, and I think they are doing. They're all changing their way of looking at it. You know, the collaboration between colleges as well is amazing now.
Yes.
After COVID, you know, we've quite strong around this. There's us as Burnley College, there's Nelson and Corn College, there's Aki College, there's Blackburn College, and we're all working on these funded projects now as a collaboration across the Lancashire College Group.
It's interesting you say that, because I was going to ask you about that in another question, but it leads me on nicely to that. Is that the skill that you talk about? Typically, when people were employing robot programmers in the past, they've come through university and they've been very highly educated and then go into industry. But do you see the sort of skills of being able to program sort of simple robotics such as Cobots, more like an apprenticeship for being an electrician. So you're training people to maybe a lower level, but can actually get started a lot quicker and get into industry a lot quicker.
Yeah,
to make difference as well.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to drive, and that's what we need. If you look at curriculum and you look at apprenticeship standards, or a BTEC level 3 2-year, the automation bit, the robotics bit is still not there, and that is a challenge as well. We've developed a lot of short, sharp skills programs in automation, in robotics, in coding. It's as the demand for skilled professionals in industry is going to go up, because everybody's looking at robots. We need to be getting the skills very quickly to these young people. And if we can do it in a shorter way, and again, the curriculum from a college perspective, obviously the curriculum is massively important, but the skills side of that, it's important to get in a shorter time, because if we did robotics 1 hour a week for 36 weeks, are they going to learn it? But let's do a 2-week block on coding or whatever. On that technical side of it all, they're going to pick it up quick. They're going to enjoy it because they're doing it every day.
And it makes a bigger impact as well.
It's that impact, it's that intent, and it's that sequencing of skills. And if we can get that right, and I think we're getting it right. I think I'm well proud of it, like I say, what they do down there in our engineering workshops. They're grasping it, and businesses are understanding it. If an SME is getting into that automation side and they need the skills, let's get them in for a few weeks. Let's give them skills, and then he can go back and put it into practice, and then he starts developing, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting. One question I was going to ask you was about, we met a young lady. We did a roadshow last week in Ireland, and we met a young lady who was had her own robotics company in Dublin. And do you think there's an opportunity to bring more females into engineering through the robotics route? Because it's generally a male-dominated sort of sector, and we obviously want to attract more people with more skills. Do you think you're seeing that as a trend? Do you think
we are seeing it? I don't know the figure exactly. Probably I should do. I think we've got quite a good mix of females in our engineering division. A lot of those young ladies make really good engineering apprentices. They do. And again, I talked about bringing divisions together. So we have A-level students that come in and do a 2-year A-level course and don't necessarily want to go to university. So I've started feeding our employees into our A-levels provision and having discussions about the opportunities to go into that digital side of manufacturing and automation. And all of a sudden there is a pricking up, because they realise that they can have a good career. And so we're introducing our A-level students to our businesses, and a lot of them females are thinking, well, I could go and end up having a good career as a female engineer or whatever. And it's working. It's slowly working. We do a lot of work, like I said, with schools. We have a young engineers program and a young innovators program. And we get mums and dads coming to open nights with the daughters and saying, they've heard that their friends' sons have been on it. Can girls go on it? Of course they can. Let's get them on it. And we have a year 10 young innovators, and again, there's basic skills in robotics in that, and additive and 3D printing and stuff like that. But it's getting them to be imaginative in that. And then they move on to the young engineers. We call it young engineers on year 11. So it's a 2. But they give up Monday nights. 5 till 8 every Monday. Well, 12 weeks in year 10, 12 weeks in year 11. So the last 2 years of school, and then they've done like a 24-week program over 2 years on a bit of innovation, a bit of engineering, and then when they're applying for jobs and going for these interviews, they can have them discussions about what they've done, and that works really well, because our employees are coming to us and saying, look, we want to come in and talk to these young engineers in year 11 because we see them as the future. When they go in there, it's probably I don't know, a 60-40 split of males and females in there. And mums and dads are loving it, because the college is promoting and investing in them at that age, even if it's just to see them like engineering, so they can make a career of it, and then they're they're not having to make that decision after they've probably made a decision on and made maybe possibly a wrong decision if it's not for them, you know.
Yes. Yeah. So I've got a question. You know, with Burnley College being in the centre of it, as we discussed, like a manufacturing sector in the northwest, what do you think the effects of, you know, creating this next generation of engineers with the skills will have on the economy, the local economy, and the companies that are in that economy? Do you think it's going to have a big effect for the future?
Yeah, definitely. I do. And again, you know, like I said, the manufacturing sector in Lancashire is very strong at the minute, and it can only get better. We want people to invest in the area, you know, and if our companies, if our SMEs do move into that automation and the production is better and quicker and faster and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it will. You know, but I want to keep it in Lancashire. I want to keep all our students in Lancashire. I don't want to, and that's probably a bit me because you know, but it's UK, isn't it? Eventually, yeah. It is. You know, but my initial, and again, I speak to stakeholders. I speak to our governors. It's local, regional, and it's national. You know, we want to inspire these young people to, you know, we might have some young people that, like I said before, that come in at maybe level 1, level 2 that are happy to stay to local. You know, working some of our amazing businesses. You know, but then you get your regional, so your Lancashire, and then, you know, we are pushing our level 4, level 5, level 6 students to say, look, the world's your oyster. Go and work wherever you want. And yes. You know, as much as I want to keep you, I am a real true Lancastrian, by the way. But yeah, you know, my remit is that, you know, that local, national, regional, and national picture.
Yes.
You know, and if I can help in any little way with that, I'm all right with that. I'm happy.
That's fantastic, and that's a fantastic thing to end on as well, Neil. So thank you very much, Neil, for this today. It's been really informative listening to you and listening to how you can generate those next level of skills for people, for the next generation of students as well. Join us next week when we'll speak to somebody else on the Cobot channel, but that's all for now.